Let's grab our foam roller and make our way over to the wall. We're going to begin with an anterior delt and psoas stretch, starting with your dominant leg down on the roller, other leg forward in a kneeling psoas stretch. The same arm as our back leg is going to come up into a V position with the outer edge of your thumb on the wall as well as the wrist. High V with the shoulder down the back. You're inhaling laterally into the rib cage, pulling the navel in towards the spine as if you're putting on a tight pair of jeans, and lifting in and up on those muscles that stop your stream of pee. Fog a mirror as you twist away from that arm on the wall. Again, inhaling laterally, pulling the belly in towards the spine, lifting in and up on those muscles that stop your stream of pee. Hear the breath like Darth Vader as you twist the torso away from the arm. Let that front knee track forward over the second and third metatarsals. Keep driving that back knee down into the roller. Take another exhale and make your way to the other side, setting up. We're opening up two posturally tight areas before we begin level 3 trampoline cardio for people with kyphotic lordotic or lordosis posture. This is an excellent way to prepare for jump rope work if you have any desire to jump rope, but it's also a fantastic way to work on your endurance, and it's completely low impact. You're on the trampoline so the joints aren't feeling the pressure they would feel jumping on a hard surface. As you're breathing here, I'd encourage you to think about driving that back knee down into the roller so you can get all 5 of the metatarsals, all toes of the back foot down on the floor, opening up the foot as well. Take another breath here and make your way up to stand. We'll get our trampoline set up and we're going to begin learning our 3 exercises. Make sure you're doing these 3 exercises at no more than 50% effort. 25 to 50% effort to learn them, and then we'll go all out once we begin our bursting. We're in level 3 now, so we'll have 45-second recoveries between our 1-minute bursts. We'll begin by learning our exercise in the transverse plane. I'd like you to grab your second to lightest Theraband, and you'll need your third to heaviest loop band around your outer thighs. We'll keep this loop band around the outer thighs for the duration of our work. The band, the second to lightest band, we're going to make a serratus anterior position. Now, holding this position only when we're doing our turning component. We'll let the knuckles face in towards one another with the elbows still lifted, but no pull out on the band as we do our 4 bounces. These are our setups on both feet, and then we switch to our dominant leg, pulling out for that serratus anterior isometric hold, 4 center, 4 turning, and then 4 back to center. Then the knuckles come in to face one another. We do our 4 on 2 legs to reset, and then we begin our 4 on 1 leg, 4 to turn, and 4 to turn back. I like to do my first 3 on 2 legs with the knuckles facing in, pull out on the band on my last one on my double leg, and then begin the single leg, because I find sometimes pulling out on the band as I shift to 1 leg can be a little jolting. So play around with that. Feel free to count 1, 2, 3, then pull out on the band and then shift to the 1 leg, or to do all 4 with that band slackened and shift as you shift the legs, whichever you'd prefer. This is our first exercise in the transverse plane. We're going to set down that second to lightest Theraband, and we're going to grab our third to heaviest Theraband, placing it behind the shoulder blades. This is here to remind you to bring your chest back towards the band, closing the rib cage. Palms are facing up, soft micro bend in the elbows. We'll keep the arms extended for the whole time for this exercise. Working in the sagittal plane, moving forward and back. We'll begin with both legs right in the center for 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we'll shift to 1 leg. And we'll go forward for 4 and back. So forward and back for 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to 2 legs for 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the non-dominant leg, traveling forward and back for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's repeat this pattern one more time to reinforce it. Remember, we're only working at 50% effort right now. Range of motion, as far as jumping, is not important. It's about the quality of the movement, maintaining your checkpoints. So that are soft knees, that includes soft knees that are tracking over your second and third metatarsals, a neutral pelvis or a little tuck of the pelvis if you have no back issues. Working in flexion can allow you to really turn off the quads and hip flexors and access the back chain of the legs and the abs. Shoulders down the back, collarbone wide. Apple distance between the chin and the chest. Focus of the eyes up eye level. Make sure that that chest is reaching for the band behind the shoulder blades and the belly is pulling in towards the spine. Let's set this third to heaviest Theraband down. We're now going to need to grab the first Theraband we were working with, the second to lightest, and we're going to do a T-pull here. Same thing with our serratus pull. You can let the knuckles face in during your reset, during your double leg bouncing, and then you can pull out on the fourth one so that you can begin the single leg work with the resistance of the upper body. So we're doing 4 center, and then we're doing 4 side to side with a pull out on the band, back to 4 center without pulling out on the band. I like to pull out on the 4th count and then begin the 4 side to side on my non-dominant leg. So we're alternating that back and forth, 4 center, 4 on the dominant leg, 4 center, 4 on the non-dominant leg. Keeping that going for a solid minute once we begin. Let's do another 20 seconds here just to reinforce this final exercise, traveling side to side in the frontal plane. Remember, don't make the range of motion a priority. Make the quality of the movement. You want to keep the legs hip distance apart and keep a soft micro bend in the knees. This is going to keep those knees safe and allow you to access your hamstrings and glutes, the underactive areas of the back chain of your legs. Okay, I'm going to remind you of the first exercise in the transverse plane. We had our serratus hold when we did our turning. 4 on our dominant leg, 4 to turn, 4 to turn back to the knuckles facing one another for our reset for 4, and then repeating on our non-dominant leg. I'm going to count you in. Remember, quality versus quantity. If the arms get too tired, let go of that band and focus. Just hold the arms up and focus on the lower body. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. We've got a full minute here. In the transverse plane, first set, you're giving it all you got. Remember, those elbows in the serratus anterior hold are as high as the shoulders. You're creating 2 right angles. The wrists are flat. The palms are facing down. The knuckles are facing up. The focus of the eyes is eye level or a little higher. There's an apple distance between the chin and the chest. You can roll those shoulders down the back. Collarbone is wide. Hear those exhales as you're breathing. Inhaling laterally like an opera singer, pulling the belly in towards the spine, keeping the range of motion small when you turn. You can take all 4 jumps to turn. If you're feeling so inspired, you can take 2 to turn. Whatever your body is feeling today, be where you are, keeping a soft bend in the knees, counting you down 3, 2, 1. Remember what side you stopped on so that you can pick up on that side when we begin again, evening out the work we're doing today. So we've got a 45-second recovery before we repeat this exercise in the transverse plane. I'd like to encourage you to take any stretches you feel you need. I'll give you ample time. I'll give you a 20-second notice before we begin, and here we are, 20-second notice. So if you need to set up with the band, if you've taken them off, go ahead and do so. I'm going to keep you posted so that you're ready to go. We've got 8 seconds. Make sure you're set up. There's a soft bend in the knees. You're preparing mentally, counting you in 3, 2, 1. Second set here in the transverse plane. Level 3 trampoline work for KLP and LP. This is an excellent way to exercise your lymphatic system. This is the top form of exercise for people with cancer. It really, really helps the lymphatic system. So if you do have any friends or family suffering from cancer, please refer them to YouniquelyFit. We want to be there to help and to give them something to do from home as they battle what they're battling. You're doing excellent work. You're almost there. 20 seconds to go. Focus on that form. Soft bend in the knees. Remember, the turning plane is the most challenging. It's where 90% of injuries occur. So we really want to work on stabilizing, making sure that that knee is tracking over the second and third metatarsals. Our focus of our eyes is not dropped forward. Our head is on our spine with an apple distance between the chin and the chest. Counting down 3, 2, 1. Take your break. As you're taking your break, I want to remind you of our exercise in the sagittal plane. We need our third to heaviest Theraband behind our shoulder blades. Serve the platter arms. Once you've set up, you have your 4 bounces center with both legs. And then you switch to your dominant leg going forward and back. And then back to 4 on both legs center and 4 on the non-dominant leg going forward and back. As you're doing this, keep the legs hip distance apart, a soft micro bend in the knees. I'm going to pause here. You are at the 20-second mark before we're going to begin, so make sure you're getting set up. I'm going to count you in. You're doing excellent work today. Counting you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. First set here in our sagittal plane going forward and back. Make sure you're focusing on the quality of the movement, not the range of the motion. Keep the eyes up. Focus up. You don't want to throw your focus down. That's going to take your head forward on your spine, causing neck issues. Roll those shoulders back, wide collarbone. Imagine that chest moving through the body all the way to the shoulder blades, closing the rib cage. Belly pulls in towards the spine. You're keeping a nice bend in the knees. Hear your breath. Just 20 seconds to go. Give it all you got. Working on that posture. Engaging the upper back, engaging the abs, the internal obliques, the transverse abdominis, those glutes and hamstrings. Almost there. Counting you down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your break. I'll let you know when you have 20 seconds before we begin our second set in the sagittal plane. Make sure as you're working today that you're drinking a lot of water. Remember, it's 8 ounces is a glass and 8 glasses is the daily recommended amount. For every cup of caffeine and alcohol you have, you want to add an additional cup. So I'm typically drinking 10 cups of water a day if I have a cup of coffee and I have a glass of wine in the evening. Some people say you need 2 glasses for every cup of caffeine and alcohol. It's kind of, there's a lot of literature out there saying 2 and 1. I usually do 1 per glass of alcohol and caffeine. Okay, you've got 20 seconds. Get yourself set up. We're going to do our second set here. I'm going to count you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Second set in the sagittal plane, 100% effort. Focusing on the quality of the movement as we go forward and back, working on our knee traction, keeping the knees soft, keeping the legs hip distance apart, the shoulders on the back, the chest reaching for that band behind the shoulder blades. Really working on our posture here, keeping our focus up eye level, apple distance between the chin and the chest, not focusing on the height of the jump, but on really getting into the backs of the legs, the glutes, the hamstrings. We can do this by keeping those knees soft and the legs hip distance apart. Excellent work. Doing great. Push yourself. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your break. As you're taking your break, I'm going to remind you of our final exercise in the frontal plane, going side to side. You have that second to lightest Theraband, and you're going to do the same thing you did with the serratus. So in the center, the knuckles face in and we're not pulling out on the band. And as we do our single leg work, we pull out on the band. So we have 4 center with the knuckles facing in. We pull out on the 4th count and then switch to our dominant leg to go side to side for 4 and back to center for 4 and to the non-dominant leg, side to side for 4 and back to center for 4. I'm going to take a little pause. I'm going to let you get set up. Once you're set up, I'm going to count you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 100% effort here. Give it all you got. Cardio bursting is about pushing yourself, but also staying strong in your form. So check out your form from the bottom up. We're pressing into the outer edges of the feet to combat the pronation that's so prevalent with our skeletal structure. So baby toes, outer edges of the feet, very active. We're keeping the knees soft and tracking over the 2nd and 3rd metatarsals. And as we go side to side, we're keeping the legs hip distance apart. We're working either with a neutral pelvis, that's a position between a scared puppy dog tuck and an arch of the back, or we're working with a little tuck if we're feeling recruitment in the front of the thighs, those quads and hip flexors. We want to turn them off. Our abs are pulled in towards our spine, our chest is reaching for the shoulder blades, closing the rib cage, shoulders down the back, apple distance between the chest, counting you down. 3, 2, 1, take your break. Final break before our final burst in our frontal plane here. You've done excellent work today. I'd like to encourage you, if you haven't logged in for flexibility, to take that extra 12 to 20 minutes to work on your flexibility. We have 2 excellent options. One is programmed for anybody that has back or knee issues, and it's going to be a safer variation. The other is for anybody, but is not recommended for people with back or knee issues. Okay, I'd like you to get set up. We have 15 seconds before I'm going to count you in. Make sure you're ready to go. Bands all ready. Counting you in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give me 100% effort. All you got here. Really push yourself. You've got this. You can do this. Give it all you got. You're almost there. Side to side is tricky. If you're feeling the knees, make sure the outer edges of the feet are really active. Push into the outer edges of those feet. Keep the knees soft, tracking over the 2nd and 3rd metatarsals. Hear your breath. Make sure you inhale through your nose and exhale out the mouth. Again, inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Keep that chest reaching for the shoulder blades. Keep the focus up eye level, apple distance between the chin and the chest. Belly pulling in towards the spine, collarbone wide. Those knees are softly bent, counting you down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job.